Yeah, we down with that. We finna be on the same label with Short Dog. Fuck that shit. Let's go.
How large was it back in Port Arthur? Like immediately, was your buzz already popping in Port Arthur? And then what was the response like at home to see these homegrown kids actually getting a shot at the big stage?
Well, you gotta understand, we talking about 1991, 1992, so as far as the rap scene in Port Arthur, the rap scene in Port Arthur was Pimp C's bedroom, and my homie Dory Dorsey, his bedroom, and then Avery Harris and Wes Harris, their bedroom. So it really was no rap scene. And you gotta understand, in '92, people couldn't really grasp the concept of somebody from their town being signed to a record label, because you understand, we didn't get no source covers, we wasn't on no magazines, we had no videos, we weren't on TV. Like, my mama didn't realize I was a real rapper until Big Pimpin'. Until then, my mama just really assumed I was selling dope. She wouldn't believe it because I wasn't on TV. She's like, why you ain't never at the award shows? Why you ain't never on TV? I'm like, they don't really do that for Southern artists. She's like, you lying, James Brown on TV all the time.
So, at that point now, you're selling. Actually, before that, tell me a little bit about Port Arthur, because it is something, that...
PA makes some noise.
And you know, cats like me, I would have never heard of PA if it wasn't for you.
Right.
There's so many people that would have no idea what this small town, what this small market was if it wasn't for you.
Right.
Yet it's clearly such a huge influence. It comes up nonstop in your music.
Absolutely.
What was it about Port Arthur that was like such a part of you?
I mean, it's just, the way you carry yourself, how you handle yourself, how you handle situations, how you handle dealing with people. I mean, I'm from a small town, you know what I'm saying? But we got big heart. And one thing about where I'm from is that I don't care where you at, I don't care where you going, who you in front of, you gotta rep PA to the fullest, off top. I don't care if it's a losing situation, you gotta go out repping for PA. And that's something that we understood at home. So when we left home and went out on the road, we knew that when the word got back that we had to be repping for PA. Not only that, PA would get on the road and travel with us. So we would leave home sometimes with 10, 12 car caravans, going to Louisiana, going to Dallas, coming here to Austin, PA to the fullest, representing on stage, And, that kind of mentality of loyalty and togetherness is the basic foundation and building block of what UGK stands for. Loyalty first.
How early did you get to know the Ghetto Boys personally?
I can tell you my first interaction with the Ghetto Boys was in 1991 in Beaumont, Texas. They had a concert. Beaumont in the building? BMT, Big Money, Texas. Already. They had a concert at Connections, the skating rink. I don't know, some of y'all from Beaumont, y'all probably remember that. Y'all probably too young for that. They had a concert at Connections and we was in the bathroom, like all the local rappers was in the bathroom freestyling, and they like face walked in. And they was like, oh, y'all freestyle, and the bass just spits up, and they just walked out. And then it just shut the whole freestyle shit down. I said, man, when I walk in the room, that's what I got to do. I got to shut shit down. I don't care if it's directly or indirectly. When I walk in the room with some rap shit, everything stops. And that's the mentality I try to bring to the game every day.
Did you go on to be close with the Ghetto Boys?
Absolutely. We in the course of moving up in our career and going through a lot of things, man, we've been blessed to have Willie D, as an OG, giving us, inspiration and advice. Blessed to have Scarface as an OG, giving us inspiration and advice. Back in the early days, being able to call DJ Ready Red for advice. Definitely James Prince, always being in our corner, and not even from a financial aspect. I didn't become signed to rap a lot until 2005, but Jay Prince has been on speed dial since 1992. And
shout out to Jay Prince in the building too. Big up.
Already. So we just tried to represent. Is he really here?
I believe that he is.
Oh, that's fine. I ain't even know. Name drop. But having people like that take the time out of their day to listen to your problems, to try to give you the right advice, because they just want to see you win. They want to see somebody from this way win, because we don't get a lot of people. In the early days, we weren't getting a lot of W's in the South. We just wanted to be out there and be heard and respected, and try to represent for ourselves like we saw the West Coast represent for them, like the East Coast represented for them, and that's what we wanted to do down here. And I'm glad that I had people to help me, you know, do a lot of the road bumps that I can reach out to.
So tell me about the beginning of your friendship with Pimp C. How did that start? What do you remember the first time you met Pimp?
Being in a small town, you kind of know everybody without really knowing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Pimp's dad was the choir director, his mom was the librarian, so everybody knew who Pimp was. You know?
Makes perfect sense. When I think Pimp C, I think choir director, librarian. Those are the two first things I think.
And that's his personality. Not really. But so we always knew each other. We had a mutual friend, and my homeboy Mitchell Queen. And, you know, Mitch would always tell me what Pimp was doing musically, you know, and I would be like, yeah, I guess that's all right, you know, because to me, I didn't really think somebody being from where we were could really be doing it. A lot of people don't know, Pimp C was rapping and producing probably 2 years before me. Before I even picked up the pen, Pimp was already known in the city for making beats and rapping and stuff, like, amongst other things, and we'll get to that later. But, you know, we would send messages and different things to each other. So I would come to Houston a lot of times, and I would sneak into different clubs and take pictures of people and stuff, and I'd bring it back. So I remember specifically, we were at a football game, and I was like, yo, bitch, I got this picture of Eazy-E, and Eazy-E was in the club in Houston. I got this picture, and Pimp just jumped up like, nigga, stop lying. You be lying all the time, talking about you know every goddamn body. You don't know them niggas. And I was like, yeah, I do, nigga, that go to the picture. And he was like, oh, shit. This nigga really know these niggas. And, you know, in the early days, I didn't really know Pimp, he didn't really know me. Our personalities are not the kind of personalities of people that would usually be around together. But as we got to know each other and be around each other, we realized that while we may be different personality-wise, our drives and our goals and our ambitions to be somebody and to have something was on the same level. And, you know, he knew he could trust me and I could trust him because we kind of were going the same way. You know, it's just like, you know, he's going to A route, I'm going to B route, but we both trying to get to C.
So tell me about that. That's one of the things I mentioned earlier when we talked a few weeks ago. One of the things that I think is most interesting about UGK is that you guys are so intertwined, and UGK is really a movement, like an eternal sort of movement in a way that, from an East Coast mind, I could only think about like a woo. You know what I mean? Like this crew that means something. Yeah, you guys are personally so very different. How would you describe your differences? What made you and Pimp different?
It's just the way we react to situations. I think the easiest way to say it, not to say that Pimp wasn't a great thinker because he was a very deep individual, but a lot of times, you know, when Pimp felt it, he said it. He didn't think about the repercussions. He didn't think about the consequences. If he felt it on his heart, he said it. Me, myself, I would stop, think about the ramifications, about what the fuck might happen if I say some shit, not for being scared, because we scared of no niggas on that type of shit, but I would be concerned about, you know, getting into it with promoters and then we wouldn't be getting shows or losing sponsorship and shit like that. But at the end of the day, man, you know, I never told him not to say what he felt, and I never told him not to be him, because sometimes people need that shot. Sometimes people need that cold glass of water thrown in their face like, yo, you fucking up.
Do you think you guys needed that? I mean, was that the balance that you needed, or are you almost too much of a thinker in that sense?
Well, in the early days, Pimp was more of a laid-back person. I was the one that was out wilding all the time. But then as the shit started growing, and I was realizing that, you know, this not just about me and you making rhymes in a room. Like, this shit is growing into a movement. People are really taking time out of their life to invest not just money, but they actual, you know, themselves, to be a part of this shit. So let me pull back and quit tripping and really evaluate what it was. Pimp knew what it was all the time. That's why he was always so very serious about the shit. But then once he knew he had it, you know, he could do it, like they say, with no hands, it was a wrap after that.
Now, how differently did you guys operate creatively?